Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. All I need is one mic. You know what time it is. Open up your ears. You know what time it is. Open up your mind. It's about that time. It's your girl P.O.C. Hey! It's your girl P.O.C. Hey! Proof of consciousness. Proof of consciousness. P.O.C. You know what time it is. Open up your ears. You know what time it is. Open up your mind. All I need is it's about that time. Welcome to Revive. Yep, you already know what time it is, man. It's your girl P.O.C, host of Revive Radio. We coming live right now from Montego Bay, Jamaica. It feels so amazing to say that. I definitely just want to say I appreciate all you guys out there for supporting Revive Radio 365, 24/7 a.m. to the p.m. You already know everything we do is a full effect, so you already know we are world travelers. We are students of the universe. So we are bringing to you the knowledge of what we hold from wherever we at. So I definitely want you guys to join in on the conversation. Drop your comments below. But today we're talking about the coronavirus. As we're sitting here in Jamaica, we're definitely hearing so many different stories, so many different opinions. Some may call them, you know, conspiracies. But I definitely want to just talk about facts and definitely things that we know. I'm sitting here with your girl Tab Money and Kingston right now, live from Montego Bay. So.
What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
Hello, everyone.
How y'all feeling?
Good.
Amazing.
How the weather? You know what I'm saying?
The weather's amazing. It's a beautiful day today. Beautiful, beautiful. It's a little overcast, but you know, the sun is shining.
And the crazy part is I was just talking to my mother and she was like, I don't even want to open the windows to get no fresh air. And I'm like, that was the first thing I did this morning was to open the windows. You know, we're here in Jamaica and I'm talking to her and she's in America, in Maryland, closer to DC, you know what I mean, where a lot of the cases are happening. And she's like, I'm not even opening the windows. Could you think about that? Like in Jamaica, like not opening the windows, not opening the doors to get fresh air.
Could never imagine.
You know what I mean?
I love the breeze that's blowing, and it's such a nice time of the year because it's not super hot. So we have warm days and cool nights. So it makes for, you know, a lot of good vibes.
Good vibes,
energy.
Definitely. And just even by you saying that, you know, like this time of the year, it's about to be springtime, you know, technically, what is it called? Spring forward, the clock has already went forward, things like that.
Well, not here in Jamaica. We don't do that.
Yes, I feel that. But, and it's about to be springtime, so that means like the weather's supposed to be changing. And that means we're supposed to be done with flu season, sniffing, sneezing, coughing. We're supposed to be done with that. That was supposed to be, you know, in the winter. And now it's springtime and you hear, you know, about people catching what is called to be the coronavirus and just the flu in general. What's your thoughts on that? Just that, you know, the shift of people catching the flu in the spring. Like, is there something common that you already know?
Well, we know this is a virus, you know, so it's just the virus that has been let out, and people are getting this virus. So if our flu season has to be extended, that's just where we are right now.
And for me, it's just like the seasons are changing. Like the flu peaks when season changes. The allergies, everybody's congestion, your nasal, respiratory problems happen during flu-like symptoms. So it's just like for me, as the seasons change, seasonal allergies, everybody respiratory system is getting a little clogged up, mucus inflammation. It makes it harder with the flu.
That's why it's so important on a regular basis to always keep that immune system robust.
That's real.
And when we say robust, we're talking about eating the right foods, making sure you get plenty of rest. Not doing it just because it's flu season.
That's right.
But this should become a habit. You should always be eating all your green leafy vegetables, always feeding the body the things that it needs to be able to work towards combating all of these viruses. So I hope, and not that I hope, I know as a result of the education that we're going to get from this particular outbreak, that people are going to pay more attention to what they put in their body and learn At this particular time, people now understand what immune systems mean, how to keep it robust, and why it's important to keep it robust, so that when we get an outbreak, our armies in our bodies are ready and prepared.
That's real. And for me, yo, not even to sound super cocky, but I don't even know what flu season is. I can definitely, contest to never having the flu. I when it comes down to people getting sick, I'm like, I don't even know what that feels like. I am always someone who survives the winter. I don't remember the last time a winter has put me down. Either one of y'all can speak to that. A winter putting y'all down?
This December.
Not that this is an
but this December passing before I came to Jamaica over the holiday break, I had real bad cold. And it was just like, for me, it's my work environment. Like, we share computers, we share laptops, we share keyboards, we share mouse, and niggas eat at the desk. I work in a white male dominant industry. And they call for out even covering their mouth. Like, I just see him, like, I don't even want to be in the room. Like, the places that we work, there's no windows, the door is shut, there's no circulatory air, and niggas is, I'm like, and no covering your mouth, like, right over the computer screen. Like, I'm like, nah, I can't do this. Like, I need windows. Like, I need fresh air. I need a humidifier. I need a diffuser. I need something to clear the air. And I just feel like all these germs are circulating in the air. And that's how I got sick. And it's like one person after another, and we just spreading germs. And it's like, and I just came to Jamaica and it was over. Give me the ITIL Bush doctor. Like, everything straight from the earth. I'm eating it, I'm drinking it, I'm putting it on my skin, and just like that, I got right. And then before I went back, because it was winter and it was like pretty much summer here, it just built up my immune system to the point when I get back, I'm good. Like, I'm ready to fight off any germs, any bacteria.
What about you, Kingston? A winter has broken you, and you're getting knocked down recently.
She hasn't even been in no U.S. for no winter.
I mean, I'm just saying, period. People get sick in general.
Well, I've been here since June 2019, and I haven't had a cold in a long time, thankfully. But, I pay attention to building up my immunity. I pay attention to my body and how my body works. I can't tell you what you need to do. You only need to know what you need to do.
That's right.
But the same principles, washing your hands, getting plenty of rest, burning yourself out so that your immune system can build its army inside so that it can fight off infections. It's amazing how this particular pandemic has brought us back to the basics. Coughing and covering your mouth, sneezing, covering your mouth, washing your hands, eating foods that are good for your body. And you know something, a little isolation is not bad.
At all.
There's some meditation that can go on with that isolation.
Shout out to 2020.
Okay.
So many lessons.
You can do your vision board while you're being that isolation.
That's real.
And do some real soul reflection. Actually look at yourself and say, I have to spend some time to myself. So let me just think about myself for a minute and how can I protect myself?
That's real.
Purify the mind as well as purifying the body and making the mind stronger, making the body stronger.
Learning from this.
Use this to your advantage. It's not that bad of a situation. We're gonna get through this. Like we get through a lot. We had the Spanish flu in 1918, where a lot of people, approximately 600,000 people just from the U.S. died alone. About 50 million worldwide. So we will get through this, and
that's another thing that I was saying too. Like, this is not the first virus that has hit. Maybe something that's worldwide, where every country is actually talking about it at the same time. But this is not the first time that we've seen something, especially attack the U.S. You know what I mean?
For me, it's like, you gotta think about it. It's election year, and most of the election years viruses came out. Like, I have something here, like SARS came out in 2004. When the 2004 election, bird flu 2008, swine flu 2010, MERS 2012, Ebola 2014, Zika 2016, Ebola again in 2018, and now Corona in 2020. So like, for me, I think it's about money. I think it's about power control. Like, China's outside of the U.S., China's the biggest nation. and one of our biggest competitors, or whatever you want to call it. And for us to deter or eliminate or manipulate some of the control from China, we have to make them look bad. We have to expose them. We got to make people say, I don't want to go to China. We got to say, oh, let's pull our businesses out of China. So therefore, we're taking the money out of China and ultimately, like, just cutting their control, eliminated it. Now it's just like, all right, everybody got their eyes like, oh, I'm not messing, stereotypes coming out the woodworks. Oh, Asians, I don't bang with Asians. Oh, he Asian, he got the corona. Oh, that store Asian, I'm not going in there. So it's just like,
because the Ebola was for Africa.
The Ebola was for Africa, malaria is for Africa. So it's now, it's a fear of like, I don't want to go there. And if you're not going there, that tourism's not happening, you're not getting that money.
Yeah, well, this pandemic, it will definitely have a financial impact around the world. And I guess I love a good conspiracy theory just like everybody else. But I would like to use my own mind and my own opinions and really read into the facts before I listen to a conspiracy theory and just believe it from what somebody else told me.
So let's get into the facts real quick. So I'm just going to read the actual definition of the coronavirus. The coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, or some people say 19, is an infection disease caused by a new virus that has been previously identified in humans as well as animals. The virus is a respiratory illness like the flu with symptoms such as cough, fever, and more severe cases, as pneumonia. Symptoms of the coronavirus can be such as runny nose, sore throat, cough, fever, or difficulty breathing. Most cases that we've seen so far, it starts off as a runny nose and goes into a sore throat. That's what they have detected so far. As far as prevention, there's no real prevention for this disease. The only thing you can do as far as a risk prevention is frequently washing your hands with alcohol-based soap or water, cover your nose or mouth when sneezing or coughing, and avoid contact. Come anywhere between 1 meter or 3 feet with anyone.
Yes, and try not to put your hands in your face. And that's where continuously washing your hand. I also would like people to really, there's a lot of information out there, so check your sources. Don't believe everything you read. I would definitely go to main reputable sources like the CDC, NIH, and definitely try to keep a level head when reading information. And
don't be scared.
Don't
this is a
spread
fear
negative.
Tactic. Let me let y'all know this right now. This is not the first time that this happened. We talk about the Spanish flu, swine flu, all these other things that I just named. This is a fear tactic to get everyone to act out of fear and react out of fear. And when they instill fear in you, they have control over your mind. They have control over you. So what I'm going to say is protect yourself. Everybody's going to get corona. Everybody's going to get cancer. Everybody's going to get the flu. What you have to do is build your immune system so you can fight it. Every day we're fighting off cancer. Every day we're fighting off bacteria. And it's like you need your probiotics. You need your good bacteria to fight off the bad bacteria.
I love that you both said the acting and reacting out of fear.
Right.
So I want to ask you guys these quick questions before we wrap up. When it comes down to, everyone reacting out of fear, that means they're closing everything from amusement parks to museums to the NBA, the NBL, everything is closing, even down to schools. Colleges are no longer doing in class. They're no longer doing in classes anymore. They're only doing online classes. They're pushing kids to move out of their dormitories and go home early for the semester. So when you think about all these things, as far as people closing and their lives are changing within weeks, not even months, no prior knowledge that these things are going to happen. What's your thoughts about those type of reactions? Because that's really panicking. That's.
Well, I look at it from a precautionary measure. We know that this virus is transmitted from person to person. You don't have to have a sexual act with this person, but you do have to. You are in close contact with an individual, and just by a sneeze and just by touching hands, that's transmission. That's how you transmit this this particular virus. And because of that rapid spread, I think it's a precautionary measure that I think it's a wise measure until a better handle on this transmission is under wraps. People are popping up.
So you're okay with everything?
I'm okay with that now because we're in a state of a pandemic. Yes. I mean, we're not talking about just this community. We're talking about globally.
Okay.
And when you look at basketball, everybody's touching the ball.
And they're traveling a lot.
Right. So we're talking about contact sports. And we're talking about people coming within close proximity. And that is the mode of transmission. It's not like possibly the mode of transmission. That is the mode of transmission. And it's telling in the numbers. The numbers every day keep going up and up and up. I think it was Dr. Fauci from NIH, who's one of the most renowned epidemiologists, virologists. He's up there, NIH. He says bluntly, one of the things that can help you or prevent you from getting this is isolation. And unfortunately, that's where we are right now. That's just how it is.
And for me, it's more so until we can educate everybody on how to properly clean themselves. I don't even want to be around like a whole ride of dirty people. Cause like I just told you at work, people coughing all on the keyboards, food, crumbs, even all your germs, bacteria everywhere. Yeah. People not properly taught how to hygiene. So, and even for me that like to be in nature, like I feel like I got proper hygiene with Eastern standards and not Western standards. But it's Western standards of medicine. Even the fact that hand sanitizer blows me. Like people don't even understand that hand sanitizer is gonna help you get corona faster. Like you out here thinking
that's it. What the studies show that if you have a hand sanitizer that has 60% alcohol or more, anything below 60% alcohol in the sanitizer, it's not effective.
Exactly.
Okay, and the other thing is, I'm not a physician, I'm not a scientist. I do a lot of reading and I look at a lot of the sources and where I get my information from. And I know that our bodies need germs and viruses in order to continue to work at its optimal level. So you can't get rid of
all of them. That's what I'm about to say.
Exactly.
That's what I was about to say.
Your body needs to be able to build immunity, and you build immunity
by having that.
Exactly. So educate yourself, people. Know what an immune system is. Know what your immune system does, how it works, and just do that education for yourself.
That's my biggest thing. And until we can do that piece, shut it all down.
Exactly. Shut it all down.
I ain't trying to come in contact with no ignorant person. And just over here just spreading the rumors around. Stop spreading those rumors around.
So my last question, thank you guys for the advice too. So my last question I would ask you, so when it comes to, they're pretty much saying that the first people that will come in contact with it will be the elderly and the young, the children. So when it comes down to that,
everybody's getting it.
I know, but they're saying that the easiest to be affected
because of the immune system.
Yeah, they're saying the easiest not to be infected, the easiest to have the hardest time dealing and clearing and fighting that. And that's because the immune system in the elderly is a little compromised because they're older, and in the children, they're not as developed. So they're the ones that are going to have a harder time clearing the virus from their bodies. This virus lives in your nasal passage, but what the concern is when it gets down to the respiratory, the brachial tubes, it has a hard time clearing to get pneumonia.
Talk about the hairs.
So there's, don't quote me, from what little I've read, is the hairs, the cilias in your lungs that kind of sweep things away. Corona generally tends to take over and diminish that, so you don't have the lungs are not capable to fight off infection as if it would without having an invasion of a virus. And the reason why virus and the bacteria are different is that once the virus enters into your body, the virus tells your body to begin working for the virus. Whereas bacteria, when bacteria invades your body, it works on its own. It replicates on its own. A virus needs your body in order to be able to replicate. So what the virus does once it gets into the lungs, it takes over the lungs, and now the lungs is working for the virus as opposed to the lungs working for the body. So Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I just read, and I stress, check the source of what you're reading.
And by you saying that, I have to ask this last question, really, before we wrap up. What was the wildest conspiracy theory that you guys have heard so far? What was the wildest thing you have heard so far?
Oh, y'all don't even want to know.
Tell me one thing you heard so far.
The wildest conspiracy.
The wildest conspiracy you heard so far
is flat Earth.
What?
I cannot stand the flat earthers.
The flat earthers?
I cannot.
No, I thought you meant in reference to Corona.
Oh, of Corona?
Yes.
For me, it's not even the wildest. It's just like,
over there telling people
yeah, I can't stand the flat earthers. We got a long conversation. That's another day. We got facts. Bring your facts to the table.
What was the wildest?
But for me, it's not even like wildest. It's just like paying attention because there's two things. In 1993 episode, The Simpsons forecasted that Tom Hanks was going to get the coronavirus, and they had coronavirus actual poster in the actual episode. And Tom Hanks has the coronavirus, quote unquote, today. So that's actual, like, for me, speaking it into existence, manifesting. Because my thing is like these things was already plotted out. Like they already had a plan. I think that we're just executing it. And also in 1981, there was books forecasting that we were going to have an epidemic in 2020.
That was the wildest thing that I heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you want to hide something, put it in a book.
Yeah.
And a lot of books are now telling, like if you're actually reading and going back, are actually telling how this was going to unfold.
And for me, it's like when I challenge both of y'all always to like write in your journal.
Right.
Like we need to be writing down our plans. We need to be premeditating. We need to be like trillionaire thoughts down on paper because that's what they did. Somebody wrote these trillionaire thoughts down on paper, and then 20 years ago, 1981, said this is what we're going to manifest, and we're going to come up. We're going to get these. And another thing for me, the conspiracy is the election time. Everybody need money. We got this president who is supposed to be impeached. We're no longer talking about the impeachment no more because of Corona.
Right.
Nobody has focus on the impeachment. This man no more. Everybody's just like, it's also just like, oh, Corona this.
Oh, it's definitely a distraction.
Country on
all of this
lockdown.
is
Yeah, well, I do believe there's...
And he was acquitted of all charges.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that too. But we don't have to get on that. But we actually got to wrap up. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're coming back. This is not our first time recording live.
Live from Jamaica, man.
Yes, this is not going to be the first time. So I appreciate it. Definitely make sure you guys turn your radios up each and every week. Thank you for keeping Revive alive 365, 24/7 a.m. to the p.m. Make sure you click that link in my bio at Revive_P.O.C. It's going to take you directly where you need to be, which is Revive is Alive, Revive is Alive, ReviveIsAlive.com. We'll be back. It's your girl, P.O.C. I appreciate you both, Ted Money and Kingston.
Bless up.
Montego Big.